Fox Hill MP and Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell is calling for a committee of privilege over comments made by Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins after it was suggested that Rollins knew the whereabouts of the two Cuban nationals deemed a national security risk. It's also been suggested the two, who were recently released from custody by the courts, now work in the U.S. and were last spotted by local authorities in Bimini. The Foreign Affairs Minister concluded that his character was impugned in this matter and questioned how the Fort Charlotte MP would know of their whereabouts.
From open source documents where it was reported by the Tribune and not refuted by the government that these individuals were in fact legally residing and working in the state of Florida. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, who responds to everything that is printed in the paper that affects him or his ministry, said nothing to refute it.
The question is, where does he get his information? Secondly, when I made the presentation, the first presentation I made on this point, one of the points I raised was that the person who was the attorney in this matter should have been on inquiry. Should have been on inquiry. I didn't go as far as to say that he was on inquiry or that he knew. And certainly the circumstances of it are such that one would question whether or not he did in fact know or closed his eyes to the obvious risk of not knowing that these individuals, once they were out of prison, facilitated by him, would find their way smuggled into Florida.
Responding to this issue today was Prime Minister Christie. He indicated that the Bahamas remains in a difficult situation as it relates to the Florida wet foot, dry foot policy, as it's contradictory to the present legislation. He recently met with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Lisa Johnson on the issue.
Where a small country like the Bahamas is faced with having to accommodate itself to Cubans who want to get into the United States of America. And we are told they are unacceptable. And possibly they are accommodated through a policy, once you get to their shores, there's nothing they could do about it. Well, that places my country, or the country that I lead, into a very difficult position. And it's not a jokey position, it's a serious position. Because you, on the one hand, cannot impress upon me, as the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, people are a national security threat because you yourself would not bring them back into the United States of America. And then you face me in a situation where I have to stand in a counter parliament